Alright, so for the past few weeks I've been falling in love with the hanging leg raises for my abdominal exercise, and here's one of the secrets that I found that really is very helpful. The thing is, it's not necessarily about a leg raise, it's about a hip tilt. It's about taking your pelvis and curling it up. Here's what I'm talking about. This is your typical hanging position. This is your spine, your pelvis is like this big blocky chunk of bone, and then you've got your hip and your femur and knee and everything like that. When most people, or at least I certainly witness a lot of times when people are hanging and they're picking up their legs, they're not using their abs so much as they're using their hip flexors. So what's ending up happening is this all stays the same and they're basically picking up, you know, their legs straight out. So this stays very much at like a right angle. Here's the thing is your abs, of course, don't attach to your legs. So, you know, this is your abs right here. You know, your rib cage is there, your pelvis. These are your abs. Your abs don't attach physically to the femurs and the joints in your legs. So what we want to do is, instead of picking up legs, what we do is we take our pelvis and we tilt the pelvis up, and the legs are essentially just along for the ride. So it's kind of like, you know, doing a dumbbell curl, okay? You're not thinking so much about get the dumbbell up as you are bend the elbow and the dumbbell's along for the ride. Same thing with the hanging leg raise, is tilt the pelvis up, which is what it's going to do is it's going to basically round your back. It's going to make your lower back scoop upwards, and your legs are just the weight. You know, and yes, they'll come up and everything, but what ends up happening is your abdominals get far more activation than your hip flexors. You shouldn't feel this in your lower back at all. So a general rule of thumb, I'm always telling people, if you feel it in your lower back during ab exercises, it means your abs have essentially turned off and your hip flexors are now the dominant muscle group that's trying to make it happen, particularly your psoas. So when you're doing this, what I do is I hang for a minute, I engage my abs as hard as I possibly can, then I focus on taking my hips, my pelvis, and scooping my pelvis upwards and bringing my legs up rather than lifting my legs up. Let me know your thoughts on that one. It took me about a couple of weeks of practice to get it down. Till then, be fit, live free.